Welcome everybody to Strangest Species. I'm your host Mike Davis here with your co-host Ethne Davis.
Hello.
What's cracking?
Oh, just so many things.
Lots of things.
Yeah.
We just finished Thanksgiving here in the States. So that is always lots of busyness.
Yeah, it had a lot of a busy factor vibe, but also like a chill vibe at times.
It's true. We had friends come over and some other random people come over for actual Thanksgiving. So we kind of split the meal up. And there was a lot of hanging out, but yet there still was a lot of work, cleaning the house and stuff. It was good though.
But you actually had the whole day off, which was nice.
I did.
Yeah. So
which was great.
And we got to play. So we had other friends come up from Tri-Cities on the Saturday for your guys' play for Elf, and we got to play Dang It with them, and that was super fun.
That is true.
Yeah, they really enjoyed it.
That our kids really like playing. So.
Yeah, so we also did a really fun game with the Broughtons. Like they brought that ping pong. Yeah. I thought it was really funny. The prizes.
Some super prizes.
41 cents was the best one out there.
What did I win?
I don't know. Everett got one like coconut body wash.
Oh, yeah. No, I won a Lindor chocolate.
Oh, yeah. You got one and then someone else got 4.
To Everett for his little travel size.
Yeah.
Coconut body wash.
And then there's like an aftershave. Someone got an
Nathan got like a toilet refresher thing.
Yeah, like a poopery, but not that brand.
Yeah.
They were pretty funny prizes. So that was fun. I like those kind of just random fun games. So
it was a good week.
It was, busy.
It was busy.
So, but you had your first weekend of the plays.
That's true.
Three
real ones with audiences, but we've ran it, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 6 times in the last 7 days.
I think that's why you're sick. So if you guys can't tell, Mike is, you can't see him, but he's wearing like 14 layers because he's got like the chills, and this guy runs hot. So
it's true.
And he's sniffly and kind of flushed. He's going to go to bed.
A few shots of NyQuil and go to bed as soon as we are done.
Yeah. So if you can hear it, he might cough a little. Anyway.
Also, if what I say doesn't make any sense, not that would be totally different than normal.
Right. But he was like hallucinating during his fever last night.
It was bad.
So I think that's what killed you, is just having a play run for 7 days or 8 times or whatever you said.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we did have a funny thing happen with the kids this week. So here in the States is the infamous Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving. And that was our opening night for the show. And so Vienna and I had to leave the house at like 2. So her and Ethne went Black Friday shopping, and I was home with the boys, but I needed to get ready to go to the show. So I hopped in the shower, and I got out of the shower, and our oldest son was playing on the VR set, and his 2 brothers weren't around.
And we're talking like they're young.
They're both in elementary school.
Yeah, they're both single digits.
Yeah.
So,
so I was like, hey, where are your little brothers? He's like, oh, they went to the forest. And by our house is a little, we're kind of surrounded by forest. There's this big field that we walk the dog in. And so that's where they had gone, which isn't the end of the world.
But they're pretty little.
But yeah, at the same time, I don't love that they were over there by themselves without telling anybody. But I was just like, well, I don't have time to go get them. When Ethne gets home, I'll have to just tell her, the boys went to the field. I'm sorry. We got to go. And so right before Ethne gets home, the 2 of them show up, and they were dragging down the street like a 5-foot tree. That
I think even taller.
Maybe 6 foot.
Yeah.
They had gone
because they trimmed it once they got here.
Oh, did they?
There was a bunch of trimmings outside.
So they went to the forest. They took one of my saws without asking.
No one knew what was happening.
Walked to the forest, cut down a tree, and then dragged it home through the neighborhood. These 2 elementary school kids with a tree bigger than either one of them and a saw.
Yeah. We have an awesome neighborhood, but like.
That would have been funny to see.
Yeah. I mean, and I was kind of like, are they allowed to just cut down a tree? I mean, we don't really know whose
Yeah, where they cut it, I'm fairly certain it's fine because it's just. I
Kind
think it's
of.
owned by a big property development company that hasn't been able to build on it, so it's just been empty for years.
Yeah.
It's not like a national forest or a
Oh,
state
no,
forest
no,
or
no.
anything.
Nothing like that. But anyway, so they actually we had a tree stand. It's put up in the playroom and they're starting to decorate it and it's being watered and it's Lucky Junior.
They name every live tree that we get Lucky Junior.
Well,
which is not very
no.
often.
Because it's only Lucky Junior and Lucky. Because
right.
last year, remember Dave disposed of his Christmas tree? And then they took it into our yard and tried to stand it up in the dirt and named it Lucky. Remember?
Tried to regrow it.
Remember? Down at the bottom by the fire? Yeah. So I had to break their tiny hearts and say like, oh, this full-grown tree is not going to take root. It is not going to grow. It is going to fall over. We're going to burn it, basically. So I have since told my neighbor, like, oh, there's actually a day that they will come and pick up your Christmas tree so you don't have to roll it down your hill into the forest and then have my kids rescue said tree. So anyway, I don't know if Dave will use the service this year, but there is a one day that they will pick up Christmas
just
trees.
returning it back to its homeland
We burnt it.
of the forest.
Yes. Anyway.
But we do have a beautiful fake tree. So it's not like our kids are missing a tree.
Oh, no. No, we have, and we let them decorate it. Like, I'm not the mom that won't let them decorate it.
That was my mom growing up.
Yeah.
It was themed. She did it all. And then we weren't even like allowed to look at it.
Yeah, my mom was similar. She didn't really want us doing the ornaments.
My mom had red and gold ears and blue and silver ears.
Wow, she alternated even.
Yeah.
Woof. So then I've never done that, but my mom definitely wanted to have it be perfect. And then my nan, so we call them Nan and Granddad, but my grandma, she would totally let us decorate the trees, and it was so terrible. I mean, like every ornament's kind of within a, 3-foot circumference of this tree. I'm just tinsel because I don't know if tinsel is a Canadian thing or just more common up there, more of a British thing.
Old person thing.
Oh, maybe it's an old person thing. I just felt like it was more common. Maybe it's just not common anymore. But yeah, tinsel just all spread out and, Anyway, it was so fun to decorate Nancy, and she kind of left it like that. Like she didn't like spread them out after. I think she just loved the fact that.
Well, there's something charming about that.
Yeah, and ugly.
Yeah. We had a little one as a kid. My mom let us decorate upstairs. But it was like the same, like 20 decorations that you could put on it.
Right. Like every year.
Yeah. I wonder if my brothers would have this. I'm the youngest. I wonder when they were kids in my growing up years, we never once had a real tree. But I don't believe that's true for my older brothers. And I think my mom probably had different decorations. I feel like when I was really small, I remember these stuffy kind of ornaments that she would hang on the bottom branches that the cat would play with.
Oh, they're like, can't be broken?
Yeah, they were literally like stuffed animal-y kind of.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like pillows within the shapes of like elves and trains or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
So I wonder when I was little or before I was born if she had. And then as she got older and I was the only one left, it was like, no, we're going to do this my way now.
I mean, I remember my parents having real trees and then the pine needles would fall off and then we'd forget to water them. And then we just kind of, I think, moved to a fake
I've never
tree.
had a real tree in my whole life other than the one time you and I bought one for the playroom. But even then we had our normal tree.
Yeah, maybe so.
Which I'm okay with. I'm not complaining.
I just like to hang the things that smell like pine. It's more the maintenance of remembering to water it and then the pine needles.
I'm not anti-fake tree. It's beautiful. It takes me about 45 seconds to get it up and lit.
Yeah. But there is something nostalgic about going and cutting like your own tree. So our kids just took it upon themselves to do that. So anyway.
All right, Ethne. Do you know what we're going to talk about today?
I don't.
Do I know what we're going to talk about today?
I sure hope so.
Me too. Have you ever been part of a club?
Yeah.
What kind of clubs have you been part of?
Oh, I'm trying to think about this. Like, I think in elementary school, there was like not chess. It was like an illustrators club. And we would illustrate like short stories that were written by like the 6th graders or something in our school. It was hilarious.
That's cool.
And then, they call it like a club volleyball team. But I don't know if I really consider that like a club.
Right.
There's always the girls' club, like in elementary school.
I was in a club in elementary school, so I grew up in San Antonio. Well, I didn't grow up, but I was in the military brat. In elementary school, I was in San Antonio.
Okay.
And I was part of a club called the Roadrunners.
You literally had the name The Road. Were you guys really fast and it was like a running club?
I honestly don't remember what our club was about.
Just had a good name?
We had the name, and I remember I wanted to make us like badges, like pins.
Oh.
And I went home and I started drawing out like a Roadrunner.
Your design,
pin.
your logo?
And my mom was so impressed that she was like, "Oh, I'll help you," because she's a good artist.
Yeah.
And she actually drew them out for us, and we made them.
How'd you turn them into a pin?
I think you can buy pins that like the plastic pops off.
Oh,
so
and you
just
like
put paper like underneath there.
Oh, so did you like photocopy the one drawing?
No, I think we drew like
you drew like
6 of them.
Wow. Do you remember your club members?
No. Well, I assume Jaime Galindo.
Yeah.
Scotty Lopez. Probably Ray McCoy. Jacob Schwartz. That was most of the clan back in 2nd grade.
Okay, cool.
It's funny I remember all those kids.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't tell you that many kids I went to high school with.
It goes to show your formative years are very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was part of the Roadrunners. Again, couldn't tell you what we did, but we were the Roadrunners.
That's awesome.
I'm a Boy Scout, so I was part of
It's
that.
like a big giant
It's a
club.
giant club.
Yeah.
More of an organization. But
Yeah.
Kind of clubby.
Club is like very, sort of smallish.
More organic.
Yeah.
So maybe I was in part of other clubs. I was in the Tie-Dye Tuesday club in dental school.
Yeah, that was a fun club.
We wore
I mean,
tie-dye
anyone
on
could be in
Tuesday.
that club if they wanted to wear
It's true.
tie-dye
There were
on
only like
Tuesday.
3 of us that did.
No, there was probably more.
Think there were more?
I think so.
Mostly Adam and I.
Yeah, there was more. It just depended on the Tuesday.
Right.
But that was a very inclusive club.
Yeah.
Anyone in your whole class could do it.
Whole school.
Yeah. Oh, the whole school. It was
Even
all
faculty.
Oh, really?
No one did, but they could have.
Oh, I didn't know they were even aware of it.
Probably not.
Oh.
We didn't have cool pins or anything. We just wore tie-dye under
Yeah.
our scrubs on
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
There you go.
So, well, what if I were to tell you there is a highly secret club that meets in the woods of Northern California every year for 2 weeks, and that this club is made up of very, what am I trying to say? Some of the most highly prominent and prestigious leaders in the world.
Like leaders of countries?
Leaders of countries, leaders of business, leaders of universities, leaders of Nobel Prize winning scientists.
And what do these people do for 2 weeks? And it's only once a year, so it seems very, like a very spread out club.
It's true. So this club is called the Bohemian Club.
Ooh, it's fun. Are they all hippies?
You know, most of them are probably as far from a bohemian as you can be. But I think the original founders were more free-spirited, bohemian-esque folk.
Interesting.
So it was formed in 1882
Wow, it's an old club.
by a group of journalists in San Francisco who were interested in the arts.
Okay.
But over time, that group has shifted to become, like I said, a group of some of the world's most influential and powerful people. For example, there have been many U.S. presidents, senators, and other politicians that are either full-time members of the Bohemian Club or are honorary members and go to said retreat. Some of these would include both President Bush's, President Clinton, President Nixon, President Reagan, President Hoover, who was also the founder of the FBI, if I believe that I'm correct on that. Mark, you can fact check me. That's my brother. He's a history guy. Said many Ivy League presidents, major museum curators, leading scientists, CEOs of some of the largest companies in the world, and other notable members, Walter Cronkite, the legendary CBS anchorman, Jack London, famous American novelist, Clint Eastwood,
Ooh.
famous cowboy and movie star, as well as the Governator.
Ooh, even good old Arnold?
Arnold. I don't think he's a member. I think he's just been to lecture there. But we'll get
like
into-
a teacher? Or-
Yeah, I think we'll get into what they do. I don't know if he's a member. He's just been invited to come party with him.
Gotcha.
So the club is maxed at 2,700 members.
That's a lot of members.
Yeah.
What's your entrance fee?
We'll get there here in a second.
Oh, I feel like
so
this
to
is
get
gonna...
invited,
Ooh,
or to get an invitation to join, you must be invited by multiple members.
Oh.
It's actually a pretty small fee to enter, considering who is in the club. It's only $25,000.
You just made that seem like that was a small entry fee. I was thinking
Well, a lot of
like
these guys are like,
$250
wipe their butts
bucks.
with, $100 bills. So
Seriously, I was not kidding when you said it's not that much, and you were like saying, I was thinking like, oh, maybe like $250 in my head.
no, a lot
So
of
when
these
you
guys
said
are,
like,
private jet.
you said 250,000.
No, there's 25,000.
Just 25,000. Either way,
I mean, 25,000 to get to annually rub shoulders with U.S. presidents and,
that's a lot of money.
well, to us, the normal people, but not to the secret leaders of the world.
I will never get an invite.
Well, that is definitely true. And we'll talk about why you won't later.
Okay, fine.
But you are correct. You will never get an invite. The wait list is anywhere between about 10 and 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
There used to be a saying
That is the most insane
that
thing ever.
said, because that's what sayings do, or they say things, that if you didn't get an invite by the time you were 30, you were never going to be in.
Oh,
So you got to get your A game going young.
yeah. I mean, I'm just learning about this right now. So I don't.
You're way past.
Oh, that's a bit dramatic now.
You're a little past that.
My chance.
And like I said,
But maybe I'll become so special that I don't have to wait on the wait
You'd
list.
have to be really, really, really special.
I know.
Like maybe I could be special enough to get one.
Why you?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But you most definitely will not ever. But not because of you. It's them, not you.
Ooh, I know why.
Why?
Because I'm not a born and raised American citizen.
Could be. We'll get there. We'll get there. We will see if Ethne is correct on why she can never be a Bohemian Club member. Coming up next.
Or maybe it's because I'm Canadian and they are anti-Canadian.
Well, who isn't?
I'm an anti-dentite.
I wasn't ready for the Seinfeld reference.
I know you were.
Well played.
It was
Well
perfect.
played.
Okay.
So, where were we? Long wait list. So, every year, thousands of their members come together for 2 weeks, as we mentioned, at a large and very private tract of land that the Bohemian Club owns called Bohemian Grove, nestled in the Redwoods of Northern California.
Ooh.
It's very picturesque.
I want to go to the Redwoods.
You can go to the Redwoods. You just can't go to Bohemian Grove.
That's fine. I just want to go to the Redwoods.
This camp has, think of it kind of like boys camp for billionaires.
Wonder what that looks like.
Yeah. So they have an outdoor dining hall. It's very formal looking. That seats 1,500.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
legit.
So you eat your meals outside and rub shoulders,
So, but I mean, if they let 2,700 people in, but only 1,500 can eat, do you eat in 2 shifts?
There could be shift work involved. Maybe not everybody can make it to the club every year for the retreat.
They still want their fee, though.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, whether you can make it or not, you still pay $25,000 for the one-time
So
visit.
it's funny. So that's a $25,000 entry fee, and then there's annual fees. I don't know what the annual fees are.
Oof.
For all I know, they could be 1,000, they could be 100,000, they could be 1,000,000.
Definitely not
the
cool.
annual
Who's the
part is.
treasurer of this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I want to
So-
be the treasurer.
Inside the camp, so the whole big, tract of land that they own, there are 18 open air campgrounds, and they're like big, fancy A-frame style tents.
Like cabins?
Nope, more rustic than that,
Like a yurt-ish?
like a yurt, or think of like an old school.
Like military canvas
but bigger.
tent? Huh, okay.
Yeah, there are 18 campgrounds inside this tract of land inside Bohemian Grove. Each has its own traditions, styles, and looks.
Okay.
For example, President Bush Sr. and Walter Cronkite are famously known for favoring a camp called the Hillbillies. That's where they always stayed.
I was thinking like the themed hotels,
The Princess, the
Yeah.
Enchanted Forest.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was in my brain picturing.
President Hoover was a longtime frequent flyer at the Caveman Camp.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, so you can see where these billionaires and political leaders really are going to like a 3rd grade
Boy Scout
camp.
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
This is hilarious.
So what do you think that these powerful men do for 2 weeks in the middle of the forest?
I'm guessing it's a retreat kind of thing. So just to honestly just relax and veg out and do yoga and swim and do canoeing and just be like visiting and socializing, networking.
Summer camp for world leaders.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So the encampment begins on the first night every year with a ceremony called the cremation of care.
That is so weird.
Why is that weird? What thinkest thou?
Well, the only form of cremation I know is like burning a dead person.
Hey, that's great, because I was going to ask you, Eth, what happens at a cremation?
Yeah. And so...
Way to just take the lead.
Oh, thank you. So if you're cremating like you are decimating the willingness to care? I have no idea what that means.
So this is what they do at the cremation of care.
I'm so curious. This is so weird.
All of the Bohemian members dress in pink, let's call them knockoff Ku Klux Klan suits. You know what a KKK suit looks like?
Yes, I do.
The white pointy hat. And, so they look kind of like that, but they're pink. And they sacrifice via fire a human effigy to a 40-foot stone owl statue of the god Moloch.
Okay, wait. Rewind.
So they take a fake person.
A fake person?
Mm-hmm.
Like a stuffed person?
Yeah, I don't know how. Think a scarecrow.
An inflatable doll?
Maybe an inflatable doll. That's about ready to go off.
Okay. So they take a fake person-esque type thing, and then what?
They light it on fire.
Okay.
In front of a 40-foot tall stone owl.
A stone owl.
That is a statue of the god Moloch, which is an ancient... You can read about him in the Bible.
Moloch.
Mm-hmm. It's an ancient god that we'll talk about in a second. But the owl god is voiced via tape recorder, or maybe not, maybe it's digital now, by the legendary anchorman Walter Cronkite.
This is the weirdest thing I have ever heard in my life.
This is U.S. presidents, senators,
who decided this?
Famous authors.
Yeah, but I mean, for real, who decided this? Like, why are they wearing pink Ku Klux Klan?
I don't know.
I mean...
I didn't get the invite, Ethne.
I bet you the person that started is like a Mary Kay person.
Could be a Mary. My guess is they were like, let's get some... They probably bought some like used KKK ones and then washed them with something red. It was like, shoot, we got to go tomorrow and now all of our crap's pink. Well, we're just going to have pink from now on. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine's more probable.
1882, I don't know if you separated your loads of laundry.
You and your issues with separating laundry.
I don't like to separate my
But it's a real thing.
I agree it's a real thing if it's new.
Okay. Anyway, we're not going to go there. So...
But I just wash my stuff together.
I feel like anyone could think of this random crap. And people actually participate in this. What is the point of burning this fake human?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Okay.
So the point of it is a symbolic ritual of releasing all of your responsibilities and worldly cares as you come into the Bohemian Grove. Because you are the most important people in the world. Think of all the pressure you have to like not suck at everything you do.
Yes. If you can't see me, I'm scratching my head.
And burn a fake person. Now, here's the interesting
thing. Did they ever do real people?
Well, so Moloch is the ancient owl god of children's sacrifice.
Owl.
Yeah. The bird.
I know. You keep saying owl god.
Owl space god.
Right. It's hard for me.
God space in space the space shape space of space a space owl.
What the heck? Just stop. Okay. So Moloch is an owl god.
40-foot tall statue that lives there all the time. You can see pictures of him. He's covered in like moss and stuff because he lives in the redwood forest. That's 12 meters for my wife and all international listeners.
Okay.
Roughly.
So they burn this thing. Are they chanting? I feel like this is totally cult.
So it's very private, obviously. You can't go watch it. In 2000, Alex Jones did break in and film this whole thing. Now, Alex Jones is a super crazy person. But sometimes crazy people get things right too. And he definitely hit the nail on the head with this one because he filmed it and it's very much what people thought it was. So you can go on YouTube and watch his... And
Video.
I've done it, like, I watched it maybe like 7 years ago. It's been forever since I watched it.
This is so weird. Okay.
So that's what they do. So back to your question, have they ever sacrificed real people? So it's interesting that you pick a god of child sacrifice, especially with the whole like Epstein, everything going on in the world right now, and powerful elite, doing bad things with kids.
Human trafficking.
Yeah.
Terrible stuff.
I would like to think that no, they never have. There's no evidence they ever have.
But
still, it's a weird thing to choose to sacrifice your worldly cares to.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just like creeped out right now.
Yeah. But it is okay. It's just the world leaders.
Yeah.
It's not like our neighbors or anything.
Well, yeah.
Not that our neighbors are much better. They would totally do that.
Okay.
So.
I disagree. Sorry.
That our neighbors would worship Moloch?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what neighbors we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just don't know which ones you're talking about.
So, let's continue with what we do here.
Okay.
So after ritualistically burning a child to a 40-foot stone owl, which is totally normal, it makes sense to start a meeting.
Totally.
What do you do for the other 2 weeks? So there's some kind of normal stuff. There are speakers by the lake, that will come and talk about. I think that's what Arnold was doing there.
Speaking by the lake.
Because he was governor at the time that he went, so he was probably coming and talking about
governing
California. There is daily entertainment called High and Low Jinx, Jinx.
Okay.
Which is primarily comedy and music like shows.
Is this still going on?
Yeah. Excuse me. In 1989, a non-member got to go in, kind of half allowed in, half snuck in where he wasn't supposed to, and actually got to witness one of the Low Jinx performances and said it was on par of what an 11-year-old would find funny.
Are they all like drugged out of their minds the whole time?
We'll get there too.
Okay.
They are known to bring in outside performers. For example, Al Hardeen, who is the only member of the Beach Boys who isn't a member of the Wilson family, except for the lead singer. He's a cousin, same last name, but still cousin. He's been known to play there a few times. So they bring in various people, but here is the main activity of it all, and that is to get super, super smashed and drunk. And then pee, which is actually very important part of the story, as much as you can.
Where are you peeing?
That's great. You're so full of questions tonight. Such great questions.
I mean...
Your inquisitive mind is beautiful, Ethne.
This is so weird. If you could only see my face, you guys.
Yeah, it's stuck in this, face of quizzical madness.
I just don't understand. Okay.
So every morning, camp staff delivers a gin fizz to each member while still in bed.
Oof, that sounds yummy.
They've probably only been in bed for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing better to shake off a massive hangover after 7 days straight than having another gin fizz in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. Is there promiscuity stuff too?
I'm sure there is.
But you don't.
There's nowhere where that doesn't happen.
But I mean, like deliberately. You know what I'm saying?
Let's come back to that question in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I feel like it just goes hand in hand.
It does go hand in hand.
So weird. Okay.
They drink from sunup to sundown, and then they drink some more after the sun's down. So what happens naturally when you have a bunch of old guys who drink a lot?
I don't even want to know. Weird conversations.
Well, I'm sure a lot of weird conversations. What naturally happens to you?
They turn into like they're 8 to 11-year-olds again.
Which is probably why they enjoy the 11-year-old comedy.
Yeah, and then they're like, I don't know.
Probably a lot of fart jokes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
your mama
wrestling.
Jokes.
Maybe they're wrestling.
A lot of wrestling, probably.
Like I'm thinking of my boys.
Butt slapping.
Yeah. Challenging, like daring. Ooh,
yeah.
Like I dare you.
You remember that? I'm not going to say any stories on air.
When you went to the Dominican Republic?
Yes.
Oh, I remember.
Things like that.
Like you guys turned into, they're all married men with children, and they turned into the biggest morons that you would ever, like back that they were like 16 years old again. They're all like becoming professionals.
Yeah, we were very professional.
Yeah.
So, but if you drink a lot of water, what do you got to do?
Pee.
You got to pee. So they have to pee a lot at Bohemian Grove. But there's one little funny thing about Bohemian Grove, because you've got probably more money here collectively than anywhere else in the world at one given time, but there are no bathrooms.
What if you have to poop?
Okay, so maybe there's bathrooms for that. But the members are not allowed to pee. They must pee in the woods. That is a big part of the club.
Oh, my kids would love this club. They have the pee tree and they prefer to pee outside.
It's true. Sometimes they will literally go outside to pee. Like the bathroom's 5 feet away. They'll walk 40 feet to the pee tree.
I think mostly when Oaks first discovered that he could, he was so excited about it.
Well, I mean, it's liberating.
Right. And then, but I mean, yeah, they don't do that anymore, but it's just, so are there women here? Because I mean, it's very easy or much easier to pee as a man, but what about like a woman and the squat and the, spray, and there's a lot of things.
It is much more complex. So we'll come back to this a little bit, but I will say the reason you will never get an invite is because women are not allowed in Bohemian Grove.
Oh.
Not even staff.
This is literally
They're all
a
male.
boys club.
Yes.
Oh. Not because I'm Canadian, but
No.
because I'm female.
Yes. There's probably been some wonderful Canadians there. They just got junks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
So
getting weirder.
they have to pee everywhere outside.
This is so weird.
And I'm sure that's a lot of urine.
And just so weird.
And what else they do? They probably do a lot of business.
Drunk business.
Drunk business. So even though the club motto is officially "Weaving Spiders Come Not Here," which is taken from Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare.
Right.
Meaning, if you're actively working, doing things, this isn't for you. Like they don't want this to be a place on paper where people are doing behind the scene deals.
Gotcha.
Obviously, that's probably what almost exclusively happens. Are drunk behind the scene deals.
Interesting. This is so weird.
Like some of the pictures, most of them are from like the 60s and stuff. You'll have these very strange collections of men together that you wouldn't normally see together. There's one famous picture with both President Reagan and President Nixon sitting by, I want to say it's President Eisenhower's former campaign manager, and he's talking, and then you have a Nobel scientist there. You have a CEO of, I don't remember which company, but one of the nation's largest companies, sorry. So obviously, I mean, I think there's probably some rumors that, certain, what's the word? Nominees for various parties are decided there, like who's going to be the one that gets the bump. So here's a crazy example. 1942. Remember that year?
War times.
I don't remember that year.
I mean,
I wasn't alive. Nobel Prize winning physicist Ernest Lawrence met with a guy you may have heard of named Robert Oppenheimer.
I know Oppenheimer.
What do you think those two talked about in 1942?
So who's the first guy again?
Nobel Prize winning physicist Ernest Lawrence.
They talked about the atomic bomb.
Yep. So there's a lot of rumors that the Manhattan Project was originally initiated, dreamt up, formed via the Bohemian Grove.
Interesting.
While pantless, drunk men run around. Let's make a big bomb.
Oh my gosh. This sounds like an epic nightmare.
Yeah. Or the best thing ever, depending on who you are.
Well, I guess so.
So like we talked about, and you may have noticed, there are no prominent women in the club. Or no women at all in the club.
Very interesting.
And that, like we said, is because the camp is strictly male, including staff.
Okay.
Now, in 1978, the club was officially charged with being discriminatory against the female folk. And what do you think the Bohemian Club's argument in the courts was for not allowing women?
Let's see. We pee outside.
Bingo.
Yep.
That their members would not be able to pee as freely as they needed or wanted if women were allowed in.
Yep.
And what do you think the court ruled?
in favor of them, obviously, if it's still going.
Obviously. So they did rule in their favor. It was later overturned. So then they went to the California Supreme Court, argued that being male was an occupational requirement.
Okay.
If you didn't have, twig and berries, then you weren't allowed to be there.
Okay.
And they did win that one at the Supreme Court level.
Wow.
The Supreme Court of California ruled against females. Can you imagine that today? They don't even know what a female is anymore.
Yeah, California is one of the worst places to know what that is. But what year was that?
I don't
78, did you say?
Yeah, I don't know what year the Supreme Court ruling was. Obviously, it'd be
after that.
10
but I
years
mean,
later or whatever.
What did
78 was
78.
the original.
So, I mean, if there's that much money, there's probably a lot of lobbying. They probably won because.
Well, there are some. I don't even know if it's rumors.
Lawsuits.
I think it's a true fact that the Supreme Court justice that ruled was been known to frequent the Bohemian Club.
Oh well,
not a member, but
right.
A little invite out to the boys only.
So there you have it.
So they have been rumors that, they do bend the rules slightly for certain females who'd like to come after hours. But
not actual members of the club.
No. And that's super on the low,
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks of, okay. No, I just don't want to, yep.
I would hate working there. Be a mess, man.
Yeah.
But at least you have to clean toilets.
But maybe you would get tipped really well.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly, no. So, at the end of the 2 week, major bing, or whatever the word I'm looking for, vacation, on the final night, the group puts on the Grove Play. So they start with the cremation of care. They end with the Grove Play. Now, the Grove Play is a play. Go figure. That is exclusively written by and performed by Grove members only.
Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting weirder.
They do have a full orchestra and stage and light crew that come in to assist them, but I assume all those are male too. Each play is only ever performed one time, and it can cost upwards of about $150,000 to put on.
Because of costumes or what?
Oh, they got some pretty elaborate.
This is
stage.
the freaking weirdest thing ever. Like a bunch of really rich hobnobby men putting on an amateur play. Who is the playwright?
I don't know. I could be the playwright if they'd invite me.
I can't. I just can't.
But the best part
I
about
bet they
it
should
is,
do Springtime for Hitler.
that'd be a great one for them.
Why does it cost so much money? You're just paying the orchestra? Or do they have elaborate costumes?
They have
costume
elaborate
makers?
costumes.
Okay.
They have elaborate stage
It's
props.
not like you just use what you've got around the
No,
house.
It's big.
Okay. This
And
is
the best part
so
is,
weird.
You remember, these are the world's most powerful and rich men. But some of them have to play drag because there are no females to play their female roles.
Oh, gosh.
I wonder if President Nixon was like a female in one of them.
I just...
Like a
Maybe
waitress
their
or something.
playwright only includes men.
No, that is an incorrect statement. There are pictures and...
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
I mean, I felt comforted knowing that our world leaders, just kick back a little bit. They're normies like all of us.
Kicking back is like taking your family on a vacation.
Well, it's a vacation with your homies.
It's so
Guys
weird.
trip.
I mean...
Where you pee in the woods and make up atomic bombs.
No, make up plays that require
And
costumes.
plays.
That's
Atomic
even...
bombs and plays.
That's so weird. Okay.
And listen to some Beach Boys.
And get hammered.
A lot of hammered. So, they do essentially have a private army, the guards, because these are, important people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the Secret Service even has to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got prominent, U.S. politicians there. You should try to break in.
I'd be like...
We should do a live feed.
Yeah.
Breaking into
We
Bohemian
should
Grove.
hire the guy that tried to break into the Disneyland place.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had...
Actually, he'd be perfect.
He was full of all sorts of good ideas.
That would be one of the greatest YouTube videos I've ever seen in my life.
And he'd probably do it.
We would definitely try to do it.
Should we hire him?
Yes, we
Yeah.
should reach out to him.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you should break into Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. We should.
That's great.
Okay.
That's the best idea you ever had.
Okay. Well,
like
thank
that.
you. I'm just, if you haven't listened to that episode, it is...
That's Jurassic Disney Land.
I don't remember
Jurassic Disney Park. Jurassic Disney something. Jurassic and Disney are in the title. It's actually our most listened episode ever.
Still?
I'm going to start throwing the word Disney in every title.
To get people to listen to it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Even though no one likes Disney anymore, everyone likes Disney. So
yeah, it's true. So they get just sloshed. I don't know. Then they're writing this play while they're just totally inebriated. I mean, quality of these plays, are they like legit?
They look legit. I don't know if maybe the playwright guy is writing it all year long.
Yeah.
It's like,
like it's their job to write the play. And then
George W., you got next year's play. Start working on it.
I can't even handle this. This is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm kind of like flabbergasted I understand the need to like kick back and like forget your responsibilities. I get that part. But do
you understand the sacrificing to
no,
pagan gods
like, but all
sacrifice?
the weird things that they're doing make zero sense. Really?
Maybe it's because you're a woman.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I'm trying to think if this was all women, what we would be doing.
You'd be like crafting. And you'd bring like 500 crickets and you'd make shirts that match.
When you said crickets, I thought you meant the bugs.
No, I mean
the
those
crafting
things that
you can't forget some shopping. But if we're not allowed to leave the woods, okay, you're not allowed to leave the woods. We would do yoga.
You would be a lot of yoga. That's true. A lot of sitting on
exploring
floaties in the water.
Oh yeah, there's water there, right?
Yeah.
So you can float in the water.
Yeah.
Get some sunbathing and some reading.
Lectures on how to overcome the patriarchy.
Yeah, sure.
I just watched the Barbie movie this week for the first time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yes, so many thoughts on that thing. I'm trying to think of what else would we do. Oh, we'd probably make up our own choreographed dances.
Interpretive dance.
Interpretive dances.
Probably a lot of reading. Really boring.
No, we would just have we would do really silly things.
Pillow
like
fights at night. Maybe you're not 13.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. We'd solve all the world's problems and say, why don't people just listen to mothers? They know. We'd probably say that like 100 times. That's like the extent of it. You know? I mean, maybe that's what so that's what I'm thinking is obviously there's lots of different types of women out there. There's a lot of people that would do a lot of different things, I'm sure. It depends on who our members are too.
Yeah, you get Hillary to run it.
No, thank you. But I'm just thinking if we had like Martha Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Or like I don't even know.
Learn how to do like awesome table spreads for Thanksgiving.
Right, like all this decor stuff we would learn. Whatever. I don't know if there's certain people that have certain talents, right? Like someone who does water painting or watercolor painting.
Sounds like your girls' nights.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That would be so fun.
Yeah. That sounds great.
This is.
But you'd have to have bathrooms and plumbing.
Yeah, this is so weird. Maybe do our nails. These men are picking weirdest things ever. Why a play?
Well, it started in 1882.
Do they have like true meaning, like in the play, like they're sending a message or sharing like?
Yeah, I'm sure they're planning out, what giant wars are going to start the next year.
Oh yeah,
or
it's like
what parts of the market need to crash or do better.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. This is just straight up weird. So they end with the play and then they all just go their merry way.
Yeah, head back home.
So then what does this land, do they rent it out when they're not there?
So they don't rent it out, but any member can rent it.
And go at any time?
For the other 50 weeks.
But like with their families?
So I believe you can have women and children there as long as it's not after dark.
So they can't spend the night?
No, of course not.
Okay, but you said you were going to talk about tipping.
Yeah, so they actually just got sued this year by the staff of the Bohemian Club for
not tipping?
For workers' rights, like violations.
Oh.
So They say that they don't get enough breaks and there's no overtime pay. And oftentimes they'll work like 23 hours in a day because you're literally catering to the most pompous people on the face of the planet.
Why don't they just hire more of them and have more shifts, though?
I don't know. I'm not part of the club.
You work 8 to noon and then
So,
noon.
Obviously,
to 8.
some of them must get good enough tips and stuff because they keep coming back. And they probably work for the same people. And they probably throw them like, here's $25,000 for
taking care of me for the 2 weeks.
It's well worth it. But legally speaking, they're way overworked and told what to do.
Huh.
One thing in this lawsuit was a description of a billionaire who forgot to pack any underwear. Because, I mean, why would you pack underwear for a 2-week trip in the woods? And so he asked a valet to wash his one pair every day.
Oh my gosh.
So those kind of things, where they just forget their undies.
Why can't they just ask someone to like Uber deliver it or something?
I would assume they don't even wear pants for half the time.
Oh, sick. This is so nasty.
So,
oh my god.
You should go and check out Alex Jones. I know Alex Jones is like a super controversial man.
Controversial.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Figure. And he has said really wacky, stupid things and done stupid things. But he legitimately did break in and film the Moloch, the cremation of care ceremony. And it's pretty fascinating. I should go back and watch it.
So weird. But
that's the Bohemian Club.
Yeah.
Ethnie's tired. She's done.
I'm just yeah.
I'm done. I'm gonna go take my NyQuil shots.
Yeah. I'm not done. I just am hungover, staying up late. So
that's it, everybody, for this week. Feel free to reach out, like it, share it, please.
Don't join the club.
Well, if you can join the club, join the club.
Don't.
I mean, and then write us an email and tell us.
That's true.
About the club.
Yeah. Or if you know anyone or have talked to anyone that is in this club.
Yeah, if you're friends with like Bill Clinton, let us know what's going on.
I didn't mean like, Bill Clinton. That was going pretty big.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you're friends with Arnold.
Yeah. He seems like a much more personable guy.
I had a Sunday school teacher when I lived in Texas who dated Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
When she was younger.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So don't join the Bohemian Rhapsody Club.
I'm all for it. I say go for it.
But that's because you're a man.
That's right. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys.
Everyone have a great week. We will be back next week. And until then, stay strange. Thank you.